Hi, good afternoon everyone. So we will be going to discuss about the utilization of assessment. And there are types of test scores. So let's proceed to the first types of test scores.
Roy score and percentage score. So what is Roy score? Roy score is obtained by simply counting the number of correct answers in a test following the scoring directions. For example, nag-take ka ng exam na out of 50 and then ang nakuha mo is 48. Yung 48, yun yung tinatawag natin na Roy score. Kasi ang sabi dito is by simply counting the number of the correct answer. Let's proceed to the percentage score. So, percentage score is useful describing a student's performance based on a criterion. So, paano ba natin makukuha yung percentage score? Simple as by using our formula, which is the Roy score divided by total score multiplied by 100. For example, yung Roy score mo is 31 and ang total score is out of 32, and then multiply lang natin siya ng 100. So, ganito po yun. 31 divided by 32 is equal to 0.96875. Multiply by 100 is equal to 96.875 or 97. Yung 97, yun na po yung tinatawag natin na percentage score.
Percentile ranks are often expressed as a number between 1 and 99, with 50 being the average. So, if a student scored the percentile ranks of 87, it would mean that they perform better than 87% of the other student in his norm group. Ipinapakita nito ang porsyento ng mga marka na nalalampasan ng isang particular na marka. For example, sa row score, 10 over 20 ang nakuha mo. Ang row score dun is yung 10, tas sa percentage ng 10 over 20 mong score, i-compute mo yun para makuha yung percentage. For example, is yung quiz. Sa score na 10 over 20, pag kinompute mo yan or kinuha mo yung percentage niya, magiging 50% since kalahati lang ng 20 items ang nakuha mo.
Next types of score, which is standard score. Standard score is a derived score which utilizes the normal curve to show how the student's performance compares with the distribution of scores above and below the arithmetic mean. It is obtained from raw scores using the norming information gathered when the test was developed. So, yung standard score, dito kinukumpara yung scores ng mga test takers or yung mga learners, and para makita kung under siya sa below or above the arithmetic. And also, standard score indicate how a test taker performed relative to the members of the norming sample or where that person would be in the bell curve. It is computed by taking the point the test taker earns called a raw score and comparing them to the performances of same age peers of the norming sample. And take note that standard scores do not represent amount of ability, knowledge, or skill. Rather, they compare ability, knowledge, or skills to others. So, under the standard score, may tinatawag tayong z-scores. Z-score gives the number of standard deviation of a test score above or below the mean. The formula is z is equals the test scores minus the average score divided by the standard deviation. So for example, the total test score is 100 and 75 is the average score. Then the standard deviation is 5. So how to compute this using the formula? Z is equals to 100, which is the test score. The total test score minus 75, the average score, and divided by 5, the standard deviation. So 100 minus 75 is equals to 25 divided by 5. So 25 divided by 5 is equals to 5. So that's the Z score. And note, a negative Z score means it is below the average, while a positive Z value means it is above the average.
T-score refers to a standard score with the mean equal to 50 and standard deviation to 10. To transform Z-score to T-score, we multiply the Z-score by 10 and add 50. This is the formula. T is equals 10 multiplied by Z-score plus 50. Let's see this example. We say value of Z score is 5. Thus, t is equals 10, the standard deviation, times 5, the value of z-score, plus 50, the equal. So let's simplify. 10 times 5 is 50, plus 50 is 100. So the value of t-score is 100. Stanine, short for standard 9. It is a method of scaling scores on a 9-point scale. So these are the level of stanine. 1 to 3 is below average, 4 to 6 is average, 7 to 9 is above average. So you can see at this in the table the equivalent of z-score into the stanine. So later we will be needing this table. So this is the example of stanine. Example number 1. The problem is, these are the scores of the students. We have 93, 82, 98, 89, and 88. The mean is 90. The standard deviation is 5.958. The question is, what is the stanine of the student who got the score of 93? So this is the solution. Remember that the formula is z is equals the score of the student minus the mean divided by standard deviation. So let's simplify. Z is equals 93 minus 90 divided by 5.958. So 93 minus 90 is 3. So 3 divided by 5.958 is 0.50. So the z-score is 0.50. So let's see in the table if what is the equivalent of 0.50. So the stanine of the score 93 is 6, which equivalent to average.
Normal curve equivalent. NCE is a normalized standard within the range 1 to 99. It has a mean of 50 and a standard deviation of 21.6. So normal curve equivalent or NCE are the standardized scores used in education. Moreover, it is a way of measuring where a student falls along the normal curve. So in addition, normal curve equivalent or NCE are a method of reporting test scores. They range from 1 to 99 with a mean of 50, similar to percentiles. However, unlike percentiles, NCE scores maintain equal interval and can be meaningfully average and difference. So let's proceed to developmental scores. A grade equivalent describes a learner's developmental growth. So it means that under developmental scores, it is used to show the individual's position along a developmental continuum. So in addition, developmental scores allow comparisons to be made to a series of references groups that differ systematically and developmentally in average achievement.
And let's proceed to the types of test score interpretation. So for the letter A, it is norm reference interpretation. So the term norm originated from the Latin word norma, which means precept or rule. Dito nalalaman kung hanggang saan yung kakayahan or nakukumpara yung ability, skills, and knowledge ng bawat learner sa iba pa nilang ka-grade level, ganon. Kaya na-identify yung mga teachers, yung mga ranks ng every learners through this tool or techniques na ginagamit para sa pag-a-identify. And let's proceed to the letter B of types of test score interpretations.
Criterion reference interpretation. The word criterion came from Greek word criterion, which means standard. Standard means the level of attainment or expectation result, na kung saan if you didn't meet the standard, you may fail. But if you meet and as well as you exceed in that standard, that is the case that you pass or you succeed in the evaluation or the test. Provide meaning to test scores by describing what the learner can and cannot do in light of a standard. So using criterion reference interpretation, malalaman mo dito kung pasado ka or you failed in that exam or test. So sa pamamaraan ni criterion reference interpretation, sasabihin niya kung qualified ka or hindi sa isang bagay.
So that's the end of our discussion. Thank you for your listening and be ready for our short quiz.